to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. The Flash Armageddon Part 3. This is going to be a reasonably short episode because I'm not feeling great today. And because I'm not feeling great, I don't particularly feel like talking because I have a very bad sinus infection right now. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little congested. So the Flash Armageddon Part 3. We are now over the halfway mark of this crossover event, which we'll be picking up next week. And we are now getting to the bottom of who is behind this crossover event. And it's one of those things where we should have known out of the gate, because it's just so obvious once it's revealed. You're like, oh, really? Like, I don't know. So the episode opens up with Barry going to Jefferson and having a very expository conversation about the Injustice Protocol, which is a protocol set up where each member of the Justice League would have a buddy to take away their powers in the event that one of them feels themselves going the wrong way. And it's basically just to prevent because if any one of them were to become evil, it'd be a threat too powerful for the world to handle, so they have to deal with that. So Barry was partnered up with Jefferson Pierce, Black Lightning, because they both have lightning-based powers, and, they interact with each other. I would assume that, I don't even know, because, there are other members of the Justice League who aren't inherently incredibly dangerous should they go homicidal. I don't think that either Kate Kane or Ryan Wilder would pose a threat on that level, on the same level as the Flash or Black Lightning or or Supergirl or Superman or anyone like that. I think Mia too wouldn't quite cause that level of problem, but I digress. So Barry and Jefferson are paired off. So Barry goes and talks to Jefferson about it, and their arc of the episode is we are going to figure out what's wrong with you, because obviously something's wrong with you. And Jefferson's like, Barry, I don't think this is really you. I think this is, something else happening. Let's try to get to the bottom of that. And that's a big deal. Meanwhile, that's really the B plot of the episode, is what's going on with Barry and Jefferson. And I will say, anytime Grant gets to tap into emotion, it's always a good episode. And I think that's really one of the things here that really works. It's past episodes with him in the Speed Force, where he's just talking out emotions and not really being the Flash. Like the Runaway Dinosaur, there was one in Season 3 where he had to go into the Speed Force for something. We had to get Wally out of the Speed Force. There was the one in Season 6 where he, what's it called? The Last Temptation of Barry Allen, where it's him in his own head, conflicted between blood work and the Speed Force over who should win. All really great things. Now, as for what's going on in what is really the A plot of the episode, you have an issue where Iris and Chester and Allegra's really grown on me a little bit. I mean, I will say, I know 2 weeks ago I said that it was annoying that she kept doing the oh, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. See, I can't do it. Look, I fucked it up. Oh, I can't do it. And I think that, she's starting to grow on me. Because she is resourceful, and she does do things on her own, and she has autonomy, and, she has wants and all of that. and I don't know, maybe it just took a little while. Like, Chester, immediately I kind of glommed onto as a character. I really liked him out of the gate, but like, it took a little warming up. And then the same way, it's not the first time that's happened, because I had the same thing happen with Mia on Arrow, where it's like, I'm not 100% committed to Mia, but I am, I'll see, where this goes. And then as the show went on, I kind of, she grew on me, and this is, what's it called? This is kind of a similar situation, where, also, it always appears that Mia and William are the same age, when I think, like, William's, like, 10 years older. I don't know, whatever. I'm looking at this, whole, like, thing going on here, and it's, the mystery of, Joe's death. And it's like, they talk about missing frames, and it's like, I was like, they're not missing frames, it's like, he just vanished from view. And then they show the real video, and he did fall in front of a train, and it's like, yeah, shit happens, and it's like, first off, it doesn't look like really that much of an accident, because it looks like he gets, like, not shoved, but, like, tripped by a guy with a suitcase, kind of, like, if he just kind of stumbled and fell in, that would have been better, but I think they want to make it where it's like, they don't want to completely insult the character and have him be like a senile old man who trips and falls onto a train track and gets hit by a train and dies. I think that they wanted to have him have a little more dignity than that. So he, they're investigating his death, and I don't quite understand. I do like they brought Dion back, and he's like, he's helping Iris with her time sickness and all of that. And see, part of the problem with this whole crossover, I think that billing it as a crossover was the wrong idea. Because if this was an event comic, this would not be a Justice League type event. Like, this, in terms of, like, characters crossing over, this feels the most like a comic, like, mini-series than anything else I've seen, be it, anything else, where it's like, the characters are seamlessly crossing over, and, because it's like, it makes sense for them to be there. It's like, oh, we have a problem with an alien, let's call Alex, who runs the DEO. Like, that makes sense to me. Like, oh, well, Barry thinks he's going crazy, let's go talk to Jefferson Pierce, because he's the person who's partnered up to deal with this issue. Should Barry lose, control of his powers or lose his mind, that makes sense. These are all logical crossovers, in the same way that, like, the Flash Season 1 crossover, ended with, the end of Flash Season 1, had, Oliver show up to help, and Barry showed up at the end of Flash Season 3 to help, and that kind of feels the same. Like, it is, we are doing everything we can to make this feel like a cohesive, interconnected universe. And because it does it, and it does it well in that regard, they should have just called this, like, this is the closest thing we're ever going to get, probably, to an actual comic miniseries in live action, where it's like, Ray shows up in the beginning and he kind of helps out, and then there's like, in episode 2, Alex shows up, and then in episode 3, Black Lightning shows up, and now in episode 4, I think we're gonna get, Batwoman, and then episode 5, I think Superman's in the crossover too at some point, and then episode 5, I think we get Mia, and the whole thing is about, oh, you know what it's gonna be? I know how this crossover is gonna end. This crossover is going to end with, maybe not, because Thawne doesn't get that face until after Barry strands him when he was a child. Because this is the last season of the show. I don't know if that's confirmed, or if that's just me speculating based on what I'm seeing. And it's like, oh, Robbie Amell's coming back. Oh, this one's coming back. Oh, Rick Cosnet's coming back. Like, everyone they can get is coming back in this season, and it's like when we saw things happening at the Citizen, everything that kind of could happen, like with the Citizen, it all feels like this is the last season. We just need to give everyone a very small, self-contained arc. That's kind of what it felt like. So I'm watching. So like when we watch this, it's like this series. I think the best way to end off this event is for Barry in the future to fight the Reverse Flash, and for the Reverse Flash and for them to go back in time to kill Barry's mother. And then we get to look back and we see now Barry at this point, he's been the Flash for 8 years. He knows everything that can go wrong. He knows what'll go wrong in Flashpoint. He knows what'll go wrong with everything else. And he knows that it is for the greater good that his mother dies. And he has to wave off his Season 1 self, who may or may not still be there. It's nebulous. But I think for the impact of that moment, they'll have him be there. I think that's the best way for this to handle. But if Mia is the last person he encounters in this journey through, his greatest hits, that would make sense to me. That he's going to be in the future and he'd be fighting the Reverse Flash there, and then that fight happens, and then the Reverse Flash gets, left behind. And then it would give a reason why he can't tap into the negative Speed Force at that point. Because it would give him that issue where he can't, what's it called? Because he's tapped into a negative still force, that would make sense then. So it all kind of clicks together where it's, especially now that they've revealed that Thawne definitely has something to do with this, because like we get to the future and it's like, there's oh look, we're going to go to a wedding, and here's a West wedding, and they go to the wedding, and Iris is marrying Thawne. And it's like, oh, okay, now it all kind of clicks together. This has to be Thawne. But I think that this crossover has to end with that. And I think that's the best emotional payoff they can give, is Barry going back in time, fighting Thawne. And then the thing is, too, if I remember correctly from season, from season 1, when he describes the battle that they had that strands him back in whatever year it was he got stranded in, it is their final conflict, and they had been fighting for years and all of that, and that fits, and this is the best way to do that, I think. And it really is, closing the loop on that. I mean, personally, I probably would have done it as a season finale, not, the quote-unquote crossover event. But, in an ideal world, the way this crossover is being handled is the way that, any of this should be handled. And it's like, when we look at TV in the past, they have had people who were series regulars on 2 shows playing the same character. It's not unheard of where that happened, especially if we're looking at, like, hey, we have a problem with aliens, let's call Alex. Hey, we have a problem with this, let's call this person. Hey, we have a problem with this, let's call this person. Hey, there's something going on in Gotham. Or, hey, this person, has a history in Gotham. Let's call let's call Ryan, see what's going on. Oh, look, there's something we can ask Superman about. Let's ask Superman. And that's how a comic book feels. Where if I want to use this character, I want to use this character, I want to use this character, we'll just bring them in and use them. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get something like this again. I think that this truly is the end. Where I think we're not... Well, number one, I think this is the last season of Flash. I don't think they kill Barry off the way they killed off... what's it called? The way they killed off... what's his name? Oliver. I think Oliver's death has to be the end of his character arc. You can't do Oliver, old man Oliver, who has retired. Like, you can't Dark Knight Rises Oliver. Just quite honestly, that ending for Dark Knight Rises doesn't even fit for Batman. Because he's a man on a mission, and until he either, there is no end to the mission, there is always the next mission. And that's something that, that's something that really stands out from, Iron Man. That's a line in the first Iron Man movie, where he's like, there is nothing else, there is only the next mission. And that's, Iron Man in the movies, that's, what's his name? That's Batman. That Oliver Queen he's portrayed on the show, where it's like I am here to, fix my city, and there will always be something for me to do, and until he dies, he will not rest. And I think that's a big thing for them to do. So yeah. So we'll wrap up there for today. I went longer than I thought I would. I'm very congested. My ears are congested too. It really sucks. And it's just like, I don't know. My throat really hurts. So tonight I am assuming I'm seeing Wolf still, unless my illness gets worse over the course of the day, which is entirely within the realm of possibility. In which case I'll be seeing it tomorrow. And then on, on Saturday I'll be seeing Come On, which is the new Joaquin Phoenix movie. And I feel like there's one other thing. The Power of Dog on Netflix. There was another Netflix movie that I had downloaded that I'm going to watch. I think it's animated. Green Snake, I think it's called, or something like that. I don't know. My ears are very congested all of a sudden, and it feels very weird. Like, when you're on an airplane, you gotta pop your ears. It feels like that, and I'm not on an airplane, so I'm not entirely sure why this is happening. What else is there? Diary of a Wimpy Kid I'm gonna do too. Hopefully I don't lose my voice, though. That would be nice. If I can keep my voice in all of this, that would be great. But yeah, I think it's unlikely that I'll lose my voice at this point. We are going to be launching a new official website in the near future. I've been working on building that. It's a work in progress. It's a little time consuming, but we will eventually get there. And I will be going back to putting up old episodes of this podcast on the stream. Ones that were taken down as a result of me not paying the bill. And then I will put back up those old episodes. So I have to go through the archive and see what I have that's not up yet. And I really do have to make like a spreadsheet, a list of all the episodes, and then be like uploaded, and then just to see what's what. And then I like having a little. I have a hard drive of all of the old episodes. If you want to support the show, you can go to bit.ly/TMRbooks. You can read any of the Kindle Vella stories on there. If you give them a thumbs up, that helps out, bump them for other people who may not have seen them. If you go to, and also on there you can get Echo Alpha, which is the latest full-length screenplay I've written, available on Kindle devices for $2.99. I think that's pretty cheap. I try to keep it under the price of a comic book, and it's a full 60-something page screenplay. So, yeah. I'm going to go because my ears have still not popped, and I still feel like crap, and I'm going to be arriving at work shortly. So until our next episode, whenever that may be, have a great rest of your day.